Oh, hello. Didn't know you were there. So it is the 28th. What's the date? 29th. 29th of August at about 9:30, 10 p.m. This is our last night in PNG. We're coming to you from our mosquito nets, just because. All right. So, what do you want from me, Dan?
Tell us about your last week.
Last week. So, I guess the last time we spoke was about 4 or 5 days ago. This week has been, I guess, it wasn't a solid week at hospital because we had a few other things on. We had on Tuesday we went to the Catholic Health Mission and did some teaching there for a day. So I guess in regards to that, it was good. There was a few things I wouldn't mind doing differently because everyone there was already working. They weren't students, so would have been good to maybe do a bit more practical stuff. I think we talked a lot, and most of the stuff we said they'd heard of before. But I think from our own experience going on the patrols and even just in the hospital, what's I guess different to Australian medicine is that in PNG there's a lot less focus on physical examination, so it would have been a smarter idea if we did more practical physical exam stuff rather than just talking about it. We probably should have done group work and actually forced the people at the Catholic Health Mission to actually do the examination just so, because it did seem like they were maybe not very skilled. We were pointing at my knee.
So I think I just got my first mosquito bite.
So it would have been good to do that, do some more practical, and we'll mention that to the next lot that come through. But otherwise it was good. So there was that. That was exhausting. And then I've just been going to outpatients here and there. I've been a little bit sick this week. So I've sort of been just taking it easy. So really didn't spend much time at hospital. We started saying our goodbyes, I guess, slowly. And there was a lot of people to say goodbye to, so it was good to start that early. Today we had our, I guess, hospital farewell. They managed to organise a large amount of food for pretty much all the staff, and we ate around 7 or 8 at PM. Really small room, so it was sort of very cramped, and everyone was sort of spread around, but it was good. Had a chance to say goodbye to everyone. Had a few speeches, and enjoyed some cake, had a few laughs. We got about 1 million billams each.
Do you want to show us where they are at the moment?
Yeah. So these are our billams. They're in the freezer. We're trying to get rid of any chance of there being any scorpions or anything in there, because there was one in Tim's. Obviously with customs we don't want there to be bugs falling out, although I think we're probably going to have to get them sprayed. It was really good. Look, there was obviously all of us would have made stronger friendships with a certain few people, and most of those few people were there, so it was good to say goodbye to them and just show that you appreciated the time that was spent. What are the other questions?
Okay, so you're done about this week?
I guess another little thing that I was telling Dan, I don't know if I told Dan actually, but we went to the rubbish tip, and I probably saw one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen, but there was about 4 or 5 kids, probably under the age of 12 or 11, that were scavenging in the rubbish, and this is PNG rubbish, so it's rubbish. and yeah, the car drove up, and even before, as we were driving, the kids jumped into the tray and started going through the stuff, and this rubbish had been sitting there for more than 6 weeks and now been outside, so it was like filthy. And they were just going through it, and like even they didn't say any words, they didn't even communicate with each other, but they just sort of threw the rubbish out into the tip. They were like little garbage men, but it was disturbing in that they were very young and they weren't like eating. I saw them drinking a can of Coke. Obviously that was in someone's rubbish, not ours. And Graham told us that, you know, if they find food, they eat it. And the kids like looked like kids from afar, but then when you looked at their faces, they didn't look like kids. They looked like they weren't children at all. It was actually quite disturbing. I've never seen anything like that, and I didn't even know what to say. Like when I was standing there with my mouth open, Tim was the same. Like, you know, every reception we've gotten from children has been like the same, in that they're excited to see us and, you know, they laugh and giggle. But these guys were like, they barely made eye contact. It was really, you know, they didn't seem to. Their human interaction was quite different. Yeah, a little bit sad, and yeah, I don't know. It was a bit weird to see that on the last day. Yeah, that's that, I guess.
Yeah. And what has surprised you since you came to PNG?
I guess the friendliness of everyone. I mean, in comparison to Australia, which I really enjoy. We could definitely spend more time here. I definitely don't feel like I have to go now. I'm happy to go, but I could definitely stay longer. And also how everyone seems to work together. There's very little bitchiness and very little sort of sabotage or something, stuff that I would see daily if I was in an Australian hospital. And I'm not even working there, I'm there as a student, so I'm not even really there, but I still would see. So I imagine working in an Australian hospital, there's a much larger volume of that going on. So here, you know, people work together, they just get everything done, and you know, it's almost a better system in that regard.
Yep. And so this is a two-pronged question. So on reflection, first one, going first, to future students, what would you recommend they learn before coming to Papua New Guinea? What did you struggle with?
I don't think you can learn
Knowledge-wise.
anything before you come here that will help you, because even if you, understanding, because I guess the knowledge that they use in practice doesn't necessarily go into very much detail, so it's something you can learn very quickly. Like, for example, the TB treatment protocols here, I learnt in half an hour. Like, you know, I could have sat at home and read through all the TB stuff, but I don't think it was necessary. You know, what the training we got in what was it? Stairthorpe? No, Toowoomba was definitely sufficient. But I think once you get here, the details aren't necessary, and it all becomes very practical. And then, you know, you can't really learn that stuff because the way they do it is different to what you'd find in a book. So whether it be different doses or just, you know, anyone who comes in with diarrhea will get a stat dose of some sort of anti-worm, type medication. What's it called? Albendazole?
Albendazole, antinidazole.
Yeah. So, you know, I wasn't even thinking about worms, but that's just what they do. So, you know, I definitely, unfortunately, don't have any tips. I think this sort of medicine, the books that we were shown didn't really show this sort of stuff. Actually, maybe that tropical medicine book probably did have this sort of stuff. Maybe it was worth looking at that. Yeah, it's very practical. It's very PNG specific and Kiunga specific, and you know, you can't. The rationale is different. It's more of a, that's just how it's been done, and that's just what needs to be done. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's it. And you're coming to the end of the 6 weeks. If you were to start your 6 weeks again, how would you ensure that you made the most of your time and learnt the most, both in the hospital, but also with regards to culturally, the community?
Like I was saying to Graham, I think it would be good for the next lot to get in touch with the local school straight away, the primary school or even the high school, and have an opportunity to go into the class and see it, because I think that way everyone would know very quickly who you are, because like it'll filter through all the students and filter back to the rest of the community, and that way I think a lot more people would be approaching you and talking to you, and then they already were, but I think it would happen even more if you did it like that. So I would definitely recommend that, because you know the local kids opened up to us, and sort of, you know, we started hanging out with them, but it would have, you know, if we had seen them in the first week and they all knew who we were, then it would have been a lot easier to sort of interact, or it would have happened a lot faster, and we'd probably get a lot further, even though we went really far already. Yeah, so I guess that's the only really thing I'd say do differently. Otherwise, I'd suggest to everyone that when they do come, they don't get stuck in one area. If they're on maternal health, so if they're on women's health, don't just stay in the obstetrics ward, go to maternal child health, make sure you get to the TB clinic thing, go to the STI clinic, go to all those clinics, because there's a lot of different experiences happening in each of them, and there's a lot of, you know, useful information that you can get very quickly and that you can absorb very quickly. So even if you spent a little bit of time in there, you'd get a lot out of it.
Any last points? That's all the questions.
Yeah, I definitely could stay longer. Other things, don't worry about buying Billums, because you're going to get some. Yeah, that's probably it.
Well, cool.
Bye.